Okay, so good morning everyone. Can you hear me clearly po? Hello po, good morning everyone. Tanong ko lang po kung naririnig po ako ng mga participants po natin dito po sa Zoom. And thank you so much po. Okay. Again, good morning everyone and welcome to episode 19 of season 2 of Webinosh, where we focus on a very important topic, electrical safety. So my name is Grace Rose Galanza and I will be your host for today's program. So to formally begin our program, let us all rise for the invocation and followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Lord, may your goodness and love be present amongst us today. Come bless our gathering with unity, hope, and vision. Lord, we pray for unity. Build in us all a deep respect for one another, so that your church may be one. Lord, we pray for hope. Come stir your hope within our hearts and renew our faith. Lord, we pray for vision. May your vision fill our lives as we seek to reveal your love. We ask all this in the glorious name of Jesus. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, kaya sa sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit ang pagaw, ay hinatang tulakawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang may di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng kartay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay, thank you and please be seated. So we're truly glad to see so many of you here, participants from various industry safety officers, and everyone who continues to advocate for a safe and healthy workplace. Today we'll be learning about electrical safety. So electrical safety is a crucial part of keeping our workplaces safe. Even with all the modern technology we have today, electrical hazard can still pose real dangers. No, so that's why we're here to learn together, share what we know, and strengthen our commitment to preventing accidents and protecting lives. So officially start our program. No, ready na po ba yung ating mga participants, no, na makinig sa ating discussion? Pwede po ba kaming hingi or maka-chat po ng thumbs up sa inyo? Kung ready na po ba lahat to listen to our speaker today? Ayan, thank you. You can see your responses po, na yung mga thumbs up and also sa ating FB Live na active po sila. No? So sana po ay makinig po tayo throughout sa ating webinar. So, ayan. And now, without further ado, I am pleased to introduce our resource speaker, Engineer Dennis C. Aquino, Engineer 4, the Safety Control Division of the Occupational Safety and Health. He will lead our session on electrical safety. So please join me in giving him a round of applause. So, good morning po, Engineer Dennis.
Good morning, Glyza. Glyce pala. Okay, so good morning to everyone. I just want to share my slides. That's my slides ko. Yan. Okay, kita na ng lahat.
Yes po, Engineer.
O, yo. Zoom. So, yan. Okay lang sa lahat. Magandang umaga po. I'm Dennis Aquino. I'm here with the main Occupational Safety and Health Center. We'll be discussing electrical safety. So we're just on the basic, ano? Diba? So that's why I just prepare my presentation. Let's first define what is electricity, ano? So sabi rito, electricity is a set of phenomena associated with the presence and the flow of charge. Electricity gives a wide variety of well-known effects such as lightning, static electricity, electromagnetism induction, and flows of an electric current. In addition, electricity permit the creation and perception of electromagnetic radiation such as radio wave. So napakahirap, mahirap intindihin. Siguro most of you will be asking, sir, basic lang tayo, ano? Yan. Hirap. But actually, who invented electricity? So sabi many of us said, marami may binanggit ng pangalan. But if you try to look at the Bible, sabi ron, sabi doon sa Bible, it is our Lord who created or who invented the electricity. So in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Now earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the water. And God said, let there be light. Yan. So kaya masasabi natin, it is our Lord who first created the electricity. And there was light. God saw that light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light a day, and darkness called night. And there was evening, and there was morning on the first day. So it is our Creator who's the one invented electricity. Okay? Sunod natin. But in terms of electrical safety, ito yung definition natin. So what is electricity? Sabi rito, the most versatile form of energy, failure to ensure safe design, consideration, work procedures, servicing, and maintenance operation are established often result in bodily harm, including fatalities, property damage, or both. So sabi nga nito, versatile, meaning to say, pwede mo ang paikot-ikutin yun di ba? So madaling gamitin. Pero again, isang pagkakamali mo, it will mean an accident or sometimes casualty or even death. Okay? So here are my objectives. So we need to explain the fundamental concept of electricity. Second, explain the effect of electricity on the human body. So ano bang epekto nito sa ating katawan? And the third, to learn safe practice in the use of electricity. At sa huli, identify common electrical protective devices that would serve as our safety, ano, para magamit natin ito ng ligtas. Okay? So basic term muna tayo. So ano ba yung mga basic term? So basic term, we have a circuit. So what is a circuit? Sabi rito, a complete path of which current could flow. So ito yung path na pwedeng daluyan ng kuryente, di ba? Dali, akin medyo palalakihin. So next is current. So pag sinabing current, it is usually measured in ampere. Ampere po yan, ano? Of electrons flowing to a conductive material. So when you say conductive, hindi pwede yung mga non-conductive, di ba? Galing. Kasi hindi siya dadaloy. So meaning to say, it should be conductive. So meaning to say, yung circuit is a conductive materials. Then palo, so may dalawang uri ng kuryente. Yung isa, ang tawag natin alternating current. So pag sinabing alternating current, yung direction ng current, it go either way. It can be positive to negative or negative to positive. The other kind of current is the direct current. So a direct current, a current which flows on only one direction. So it will leave positive and enter negative. So mapipicture out na nyo yung isa. It is direct, no? Pag tiningnan natin doon sa instrumento na oscilloscope, diretso lang siya. Pero unlike yung AC, pag tiningnan natin sa oscilloscope, parang sine wave. Or sometimes we call sinusoidal wave, ano? Direct, diretso lang. Diba? Then we have a voltage. So a voltage measure in volt of the difference in potential of a power source. So yung kuryente o yung current ay itinutulak ng voltahe para siya ay dumaloy. Diba? So yan, tutulak niya yung voltahe. So we have a resistance. Pag sinabing resistance, a device which limits the flow of current. So pagka yung resistance is within the circuit, siya yung basically yung magkukonsume ng kuryente, either in a form of circular motion o parang motor, ano, or even in the form of light, di ba? So yun yung pinakang masasabi nating resistance. So siya yung gumagamit. So meaning to say na nai-impede yung flow ng current because kinukonsume ng resistance. And the last, we have a grounding. So ito yung pinaka-importante ito, no? Pertains to earth current path. So bali ito yung kuryente o ito yung halimbawa ito yung part of a circuit that just in case any leak current would be go to what we call the ground. Okay? Ngayon, tingnan natin yung sinasabi ng batas na Philippine Electrical Code. Di ba? Tingnan natin yung batas na sinasabi natin. So, under RA, teka, under RA 7920, ito yung tatawag nating the new electrical engineering law. Sabi rito, law providing more responsive and comprehensive regulation for the exercise of electrical practitioner. The following are the points of interest. doon sa section 34, ano sinabi doon sa section 34? Sabi doon sa section 34 is preparation plan of land, design, and or valuation of equipment, wiring system are unlawful unless work is done in accordance with the Philippine Electrical Code. So dapat sumusunod tayo dito sa pamantayan to. And is executed under the responsible charge of professional electrical engineer. So meaning to say, dapat kung ikay magpa-practice doing that, so papaluhin mo na yung batas natin. Field of practice for the respective electrical practitioner, including supervisor and duties and personal requirement. So, may dalawang klase nung electrical engineer. Meron tayo no registered master electrician, sabi doon, installation, wiring, operation, and maintenance of electrical equipment machinery not exceeding 500 kV or 600 kVA or 600 volts. So if unavailable, a registered electrical engineer or professional engineer shall supervise the work. So under the electrical engineering, meron tayong registered electrical engineer. So yung electrical engineer registered, ito yung supervise operation and maintenance of electrical plants, factories, commercial establishment, watercraft, electric locomotive or utilization equipment. So, walang pagkakaiba yan sa professional engineer. The only difference is yung professional, siya lang yung may karapatan na mag-seal ng plan. And at the same time, practice electrical engineering in full. So, ang pagkakaiba, yung seal, ito lang yung pumipirma. But anyway, that is the law when we talk of electrical engineering. So, balik tayo doon sa kaninang discussion natin. So, yung kaninang discussion natin, nalaman natin yung voltage, nalaman natin yung resistance, nalaman natin yung current. So, and then papasok yung Ohm's law. Ano ba sinabi ng Ohm's law? So, that current is equals to the voltage divided by resistance. That according to Ohms. Correspondingly, ano ba yung unit ng current? Current, it is in the form of ampere, tapos yung voltage, and then divided by the ohms. So, pag pinag-ikot-ikot natin yung formulang yan, we will be able to develop what we call a power. So, a power is equals to voltage times the current. You square the current and multiply it by the resistance, you get the power. So, correspondingly, ito may unit na. Ang unit ng power is in watts. Yung voltage or volts times the ampere is equals to what? You square the ampere and multiply it by the ohms, you get watts. Okay? Maliwanag. Ngayon, ito yung litrato ng circuit. So, single phase muna tayo, no? So, ayan. Yan yung ating hitsura ng sirketo natin. Ito yung single phase. So ito yung circuit, ito yung conductor, tapos ito yung load, 'di ba? Sabi natin yung load serve as the resistance. When you put it on, tatakbo yung sirketo. Pero meron tayo ng tinatawag single phase, three phase system, ano? Three wire system. So in here in National Capital Region, ganito kadalasan yung makikita nating circuit. 'Di ba? Yung power source, actually this na AC, yung power source ay 110, then when you earth it, i-earth mo siya and then we have the voltage which is the load as 220. Yan, ayan yan dito. Kaya dito sa Manila, you can easily get 110 volts. Di ba? Pero sa mga province siguro, usually 220 to ground o yung line to ground na sinasabi natin. Ngayon, we need to know how to distinguish ito. I-distinguish natin ah yung voltage. Paano na natin malalaman yung high voltage to low voltage? Okay? Yung high voltage, sabi nila, if it's 660 and up, that is high voltage. And when it is 659 and below, that is a low voltage. Yan. Yun, tignan natin yung International Electrical Commission on how they will distinguish this. Di ba? International Electrical high voltage, it should be less than 1,000. Then, ang DC niya is 1,500. So, dito nagkakameron ng electrical arcing. So, mamaya di-discuss natin yung arcing. So, under a low voltage system, 50 to 1,000 or 122 to 1,500, mayroon din siyang tinatawag na electric shock. Doon sa isa arcing ha, doon sa 1,000, diba? Electric arcing. Pero sa voltage, dito mas evident yung electrical shock. So we have still this extra low voltage which is considered as low voltage. Yan. Yan yung ating mga 50 and 120. So a lot of us is asking, saan ba madalas mangyari yung aksidente? So saan nga ba? Yan. So sa low voltage, di ba? So we'll be asking, why low voltage? So ito yung reason, it is where the public move. Kasi dito sa atin, literal, pag sinabing high voltage, kinakailangan mo umakyat ng poste. Reason na number 2, dito madalas less experience yung mga nagtatrabaho. Di ba? Unlike yung nagtatrabaho doon sa mga electrical utilities that's engaged to high voltage, before you are allowed to climb the post, they are requiring a lot of training. 'Di ba? Sa low voltage, konti lang training pwede na, 'di ba? Yun nga madalas kong kwento. Ang yung isang contractor from NCR pumunta sa probinsya, kumuha ng mga worker. So happen electrical works pala. Ngayon, after several months, bumalik ngayon doon sa probinsya. Pagdating nung kinuha kong worker, nangongontrata na. Nag-i-install na sa mga kapitbahay niya, di ba? And the third reason is it is treated as less dangerous. Ay, 110 lang yan, 110 lang yan, di ba? So yun yung siguro perception natin na mas marami talaga na nakukuryente o na-aksidente sa low voltage. So again, what is an electrical hazard? It is an electrical source of danger, panganib, di ba? Sabi rin, a potential risk from electrical accident. So, pwede kang makuryente or ma-shock na sinasabi. So, ah it's your job to know. So being electrical worker, na dapat alamin mo na susulat naman yan sa ating ano nandun sulat naman yan sa ating o standard na before you work, the employer should teach you the danger in working in a hazardous working condition. Kaya nga meron tayo nung MES, yung yung tatawag nating orientation. So it's your job to know the hazards of electricity. So ano may mga peligro na masasabi natin na makukuha natin sa kuryente? The equipment, 'di ba? It is being powered by electricity. Then the third is the safe work practices. So ano ba yung mga safe work practices na kinakailangan nating matuto before we engage to the job? And then upon knowing the work safety practices, so basically sinasabi ron, you need to wear the personal protective equipment before its use. Diba? And the last is don't work on an energized circuit without permission. So dito yung mga tinatawag nating hot work permitting system. So again, sa permitting system, dapat meron tayong ganong klase ng procedure before a worker are engaged to repair what we call hot work or electrical circuit. Okay? So, permit system. So, causes of electrical accident. So, ano ba yung mga causes niyan? Contact with the live conductor. Diba? Yung short circuiting. Arc and spark. Overloading. So, inadequate grounding. Non-usage of standard replacement. At saka ito, delikado, yung tinatawag nating yung mamasamasang sa paligiran or yung what we call in wet environments. So, what types of electrical hazards? What are the types of electrical hazards? So, meron tayong dalawa. There are two types. Yung physical hazards. So, is the problem which the equipment or area surrounding poses a threat due to physical condition. Yan. And the other one is behavioral hazard. Is the process a person by the way that they behave or act poses a threat for electrical hazards. Yan. Yan yung mga kadalawa. But basically, parang unsafe pa na safe condition din nito, no? Yung isa physical, yung isa more on behavioral. So, may mga electrical statistic tayong nakuha regarding electrical shock. Sabi rito, an electric shock occurs where electric current passes through the body. So, the moment na pumasok sa katawan natin yan, yung kuryente, may epekto yan. This likely cause the contact between an energized port in the circuit and the ground or ground path to the circuit. So, meaning to say, ang grounded yung equipment mo, na hawakan mo, ikaw yung dinaanan ng kuryente papunta sa ground. So, the contact forms a potential difference or better known as voltage. Of the recorded fatal electrical occupational injuries, 98% were from electrical shock injury. So, napakalaki nung porsyento na yung pagkaka-electric shock. Aha. Tayo kasi mga Pilipino, dalawa yung ano eh. Iba yung meaning nung pag pinag-usapan yung shock, yung electrical accident. Ang commonly name nung electric shock sa ating mga Pilipino is yung na-ground. Kasi literal naman, ikaw yung nagigdaan ng kuryente papunta sa ground. 'Di ba? Kasi pagka tiner mo yung electric shock, parang iba yung dating, 'di ba? So, electrical accident injury, what are the causes of electrical accident? So, there are two categories. So, kung kanina, dalawa yung causes, the behavior and physical. Ngayon, may dalawang category. Yung first category is what we call primary injury. Primary injury. So, damage directly to the body from electrical current or sometimes merong mga burn. Di ba? Pagka primary injuries, ma-observe natin, usually may burn. It's either doon sa dinaanan ng kuryente or doon sa nilabasan ng kuryente. The other cause injury is the secondary. Secondary physical damage to the body resulting from electrical cause by shock. So, halimbawa, nahawakan mo yung yung sirketo, bigla ka nahulog. Diba? Nagpapalit ka ng bombilya, you accidentally touch one of the wire, magugulat ka. So, sa pagkagulat mo, nahulog ka. Diba? Yun yung secondary. Okay? So, under the primary injuries, meron tayo nung electrical burn. Yan. May occur as the current passes to the body and generate heat. So, makikita nyo, halimbawa, pumasok kayo doon or nagbukas kayo ng mga electrical panel, makikita mo, may mga, halimbawa, may mga daga. Tapos yung daga parang tuyo na siya. So, kasi nasunog na siya. So, kapag human naman yung na kuryente, makikita natin, it's either doon sa pinasukan ng kuryente or ito yung nilabasan, meron siya nung burn. The other is, if internal may damage burn or tissue or vital organ. So, syempre, example nito, nakakuryente ka hand-to-hand. So, from right hand to left hand, parang maapektuhan yung puso mo at saka yung respiratory system mo. 'Di ba? Pwede rin yung hand to feet, hand to foot. 'Di ba? Ano yung tatamaan niya? It can be your reproductive system or yung ating heart or di kaya yung ating lungs. 'Di ba? So, electrical accident injury, primary naman siya. Anong maaring mo nga? So, yun nga, it can be a respiratory failure. Pag si respiratory current can disturb the normal function of nerves and muscle including the lungs. Yan. So, if chest muscle remain contracted, maaaring tumigil yung paghinga mo, no? At saka yung, ngayon, pagka gano'n na yun, nagre-required na siya na cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So, immediately to restore your breathing. Sa primary pa rin, meron tayong tatawag na ventricular fibrillation. So, under the ventricular fibrillation, current can cause rapid irregular contraction of heart muscle and lack of synchronism between the heart and the palms, di ba? Can lead to immediately heart or respiratory failure requiring, yun nga, CPR. Okay? Meron tayong sometimes symptom may not appear until later. All victims must have undergone ECG. Okay? So, dapat pagka ganun, hindi mo nakita, ECG mo siya para malaman natin. Sa secondary accident, or what we call secondary injuries, meron tayo ng tinatawag injuries to the body resulting from accidental cause of electrical current. So, nahulog ka. Pagkahulog mo, nabali yung buto mo or nahiwa ka. Electrical current can ignite a fire or trigger an explosion causing serious body harm or injuries. Ayan, yun itong makalaman yung sunog, di ba? Usually, meron tayo ng tinatawag na faulty electrical wiring, ano? But I think magagalit naman sa atin yung mga electrical engineer. Pagka we usually dyan, do it. Kasi when it is faulty, it will not work. Diba? So, electric shock mechanism, occur mechanism. Paano raw nag-occur? Again, there is a breakdown of insulation. So, walang insulation o nag-breakdown o natanggal na yung insulation. Next is human bodies come into contact with the bare conductor. So, napadikit ka. So, that's why kuryente ka. Tapos, current flows to a human body. Normal po yun o talaga. A body or says it composed of more than 75% of our body is made of fluids and most fluid are good conductor. So, kaya tayo nakukuryente. So, paano ba nakukuryente? So, paano makukuryente? Ganito lang yon. So, pwedeng line to ground or line to line. So, sabi ko, sa high voltage, kadalasan ng nakukuryente rito is through line to line. Kasi malayo siya sa ground. Sa low voltage, enough na yung isang linya mahawakan mo tapos nakaapa ka sa ground. So that's why, posible kang makuryente. So, tingnan natin yung current, effect of current to the body, human body. Una, sabi ko kanina, disturbance of normal body function because of current. Tapos, masusunog yung body tissue mo. Tapos, secondary accident. So, voluntary grip. Ito yung kadalasan nakikita natin. Siguro na ay hinahigop siya. Di po totoo yon. It so happen na kung saan ka nakalin, doon ka, yun yung tendency ng body mo, doon ka matutumba. Di ba? Okay? Ventricular fibrillation. So, syempre, with the amount of current flowing to your body, yung heart mo, na hindi nawawala yung synchronization ng breathing mo together with the respirator. Ano nga, meron ka ng ventricular fibrillation. And the last, syempre, mamamatay ka. Di ba? Posibleng mamatay ka. Again, speaking of electric shock, so receive the current passes through the body, you can be part of the circuit. No, naging parte ka ng circuit, gaya nung ating nakita sa ating drawing. Part of the current to the body, okay? Yung naging daan ng kuryente. The amount of current flowing to your body, delikado rin yan. And the length of time the body is in the circuit. Sabi mo, saglit lang po, pero ang laki-laki naman. Pero Saglit lang po siyang napahawak pero ang tagal-tagal mo naman patay din. Again, we need to take charge of the body condition. Okay? Maari din po kasing sasabihin mo na galing ka sa sakit. So again, when you galing sa sakit, bumababa yung resistance mo. Maari din po na malaman natin na iba po, mas mabilis pong makuryente yung kababaihan kaysa kalalakihan. Kasi we need to do their resistance, 'di ba? Yung babae, medyo maliit yung in size niya comparing to the male. Yung skin condition nung babae ay kakaiba doon sa skin condition ng mga lalaki, 'di ba? So, try to observe. Halimbawa kayong magkatabi, tingnan mo yung skin condition ng babae, sometimes it is more moist. Bakit? Nagmo-moisturizer siya eh. Bihira naman yun na lalaki yung moist kasi will make your body or your skin less resistance. And sabi natin, the lesser the resistance, the more current could flow. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung if we are exposed to a current, ano? So, sabi rito, pagka yung tao o yung individual are exposed to more than 3 milliampere. Milli yan 1/1000. Meron tayo ng tinatawag na painful shock. Kapag yung tao, more than 10 milliampere, muscle contraction, ito yung, hindi parang sa feeling mo, hindi ka na makapakawala. So, ito yung no let go current. So, more than 30 milliampere, so yun, lung paralysis na. Hindi na nagpa-function yung lung mo. And usually, temporary, so that's why you need to have yung CPR. Ngayon, pagka ikaw ay nakuryente na, more than 50 milliampere, ito yung possible ventricular fibrillation. So, merong heart dysfunction or masasabi natin, usually it is more fatal. 100 milliampere to 4 ampere, sigurado na tayo. Yung ventricular fibrillation or fatal. So, over 4 amperes na yan, ano? Meron tayo no heart paralysis, severe burn usually cause more than 600 by more than 600 volt. Okay, example of behavioral hazards. So, indifference. 'Di ba? Iba siya. Next is lack of knowledge. So, ito yung example ko kanina, no? Yung although may experience siya, but basically hindi niya gasino kabisado yung theoretical knowledge. So, kaya nga marami nangyayari nung yung tinatawag nating faulty electrical wiring. 'Di ba? Ito yung example na madalas natin nakikinig, ano? Na yung bahay ginawa for up and down, bungalow type, 'di ba? Ngayon yung may-ari kapag abroad, pagbalik dito sa Pilipinas, bigla niyang aircon without considering yung electrical design. 'Di ba? Sino ba yung papapagtrabahuhin natin? Hindi na, yan, for sure. Hindi tayo kukuha ng electrical engineer dyan. Why? Kasi medyo mahal. Wherein pwede ka naman tumawag ng kapitbahay mo. Di ba? Doon nagkakameron ng tinatawag natin na malpractices. Pero sinabi ko kanina, no, doon sa una, yung 7920 that those who are only allowed to work on an electricity is a master electrician, registered engineer and professional engineer. 'Di ba? Wala tayong magagawa, yun yung problema natin, eh. Siyempre hanapin mo yung mas mura. So, nagpopol yun doon sa lack of knowledge. So, working while stressed. So, if you have done a lot of thing and then you'll be asked to work, siyempre marami kang ano, pagod ka na. So, maybe you're stressed and you will done a lot of mistake in installing an equipment. And then taking shortcut or risk. Yan. Yung sirketo, no? So, instead na ah 15 amperes ang ilalagay mo, 30 amperes kasi ah kasi nga sabog ng sabog, 'di ba? Another example of taking shortcut. So, instead na itinape mo, hayaan mo naman kasi ang dahilan mo naman kasi nasa ibabaw naman ng kisame, wala naman tao diyan. So, that is taking shortcut or risk. So, let's look at a personal sensitivity to electric shock. Yung age. So, if you are older, sabi mo you are higher resistance, but again, may comorbidities ka, may sakit ka sa puso, mabilis ka rin makakuryente. Next is the skin condition. 'Di ba sabi ko kanina pagkaiba yung babae sa lalaki. The gender, yun. Mas parang na-explain natin ano. Hindi hindi parehas yung resistance ng babae kaysa lalaki. The last is heart condition. 'Di ba? So, older ka, may sakit ka naman sa puso, bata ka, maliit yung resistance mo, mas makukuryente ka, 'di ba? May plus at saka minus 'yun, 'di ba? Okay, tolerance to electric shocks. Ito, maybe you have time to compute this, but I said to you, medyo mahirap 'yan. So, gaano ka ba tatagal sa isang sirketo? 'Yan, tingnan mo, subukan mo. Wherein current, it is in milliamperes, while time it is in milliseconds, and heart duration yung 116 po. Ngayon, tingnan natin yung different kinds of material and its resistance, ano? So, most metal is less than 0 to 50 mo. Kaya nga sabi natin yung best conductor is gold. 'Di ba? Pangalawa lang yung bronze. Pangatlo yung copper. Okay? Then, yung body condition, human body, binasa mo yung ulo mo, tapos mineasure mo yung ear to ear, that's 100 ohms. Yung human body dump, hand to foot, it ranges from 400 to 600 ohms. Human body, kaliligo mo lang, 1,000 ohms. Di ba? Kaya tingnan ninyo, pagka yung human body is on a dry skin, yung tuyo, 100,000 to 800,000 ohms. Tingnan natin yung dry wood, 100,000 ohms. And then wet wood, 1,000 ohms. Para din yung human body sa wet skin. Oh. And then, that's why rubber is a good insulator. Okay? Punta tayo doon sa secondary. Ano? Secondary activity when we talk to electricity. Yung nahulog, yung pagkahulog ng isang individual. Di ba? Ano yung posible? Unaware ka, bigla kang nahulog. Bone injury, fracture, concussion, and sometimes even death. Ayan, yung secondary accident. Ito yung most common, yung electrical fire. Sa electrical fire, within electrical components such as wire and circuit breaker causes overloading. Paano po nagiging cause ng overloading? Kasi doon sa overloading, ah, nag-trip na nga yung fuse, di ba? O nag-trip na nga yung breaker. Tapos ang ginawa mo, inirekta mo. Ang nangyayari doon sa erekta, mag-iinit na mag-iinit yung wire hanggang malusab yung insulator niya and then pagkasunog. Incompatible voltage rating, di ba? Though that is one. Wiring issues. And then worn out equipment. Sira-sira na nga yung equipment mo. Pinatatakbo mo ba, no? Yung wiring issue, sometimes oversized wire, sometimes undersized wire. Incompatible rating, yun nga yung sinabi ka natin. So dati 30 amperes ang ginawa mo, nilagyan mo, nirekta mo na siya. Okay? So electric fire classified as Class C fire. Okay, sa Class C fire, medyo paano natin ito papatayin when it is a Class C fire? So, ang technique dito, tineterm off muna natin yung switch bago saka natin bobombahin kung ano yung fuel na nasusunog. Diba? Pwedeng electrical fire, pwedeng ordinary combustible. Diba? So, again, tingnan natin. So, nakakita na ba kayo no, halimbawa nag-alarm? Tapos makikita mo, yung power utilities mas nauna sa bumbero. Kasi natatakot yung power utilities sa mauna yung bumbero. Kasi the moment na yung bumbero yung nauna doon sa power utilities, ang ginagawa kasi nung power utilities, isina-shutdown. Paano mo isa-shutdown? Nasusunog nga. So, ang ginagawa nila, binobomba nila yung mga transformer nung nasa paligid. Pag bomba nila, they make it sure na shorted. Pero may technique po sa pagbomba doon. Hindi yung direct stream. Papatak-patak lang. Okay? So, electrical fire prevention. How can we prevent electrical fire prevention? Electrical fire. So, update your protection devices. Circuit breaker could fail to trip when overcurrent occurs. Okay, so we need to check that. We need to replace it if it is malfunctioning. Proper maintenance and replacing of all damaged equipment. Diba? Siguro damage na yung electrical circuit breaker nyo. Then, we need to comply to a safety code. So, when we talk of fire, dalawa yung tinitingnan natin. Yung Fire Code of the Philippines o yung Philippine Electrical Code. So, tinitingnan natin yan. Ngayon, bilang worker, you need to know how to respond to an electrical fire. Okay? Ang key factor dito, bago ka bumomba ng tubig siguraduhin mong naka-turn off yung mga electrical or yung mga overcurrent protection, 'di ba? Okay, when faced with the electrical car, most often it cannot be certain the source of energize or not. Di mo alam. So, para mabilis, i-turn off mo muna yung mga sources niya. Like for example, yung par. So, some extinguisher may conductive elements which may introduce electrical shock before responding. So, tingnan mo din muna natin, anong klaseng fire extinguisher yung posible nating gamitin. Kasi may iba't ibang klaseng fire extinguisher for your information. Hence, important to use the Class C. So, meron naman po doon. Pero meron tayong makikita dito, multi-purpose. Ang problema doon sa multi-purpose, it is a dry chem o dry chem siya. Ang problema doon, patay nga yung sunog, sira naman yung equipment mo. Kasi yung chemicals na ibinubuga ng dry chem are sometimes corrosive. 'Di ba? Then, yung mga emergency illumination will be important in order to provide visibility for the responder. So yun, dapat it is well functioning, Okay, electric fire emergency response. So we need to have a sprinkler system. Then sometimes a chemical suppression system. So dapat i-clean natin siya. Tapos ina-ionize water mist and then dry powder. Yan yung mga kinakailangan nating malaman na when you are on an electrical fire, dapat meron tayong mga proper extinguishing system. Okay? Take note. So, ito mga fire-related, So, meron tayong overloading when appliances draw electric current beyond the capacity. Okay, pagka beyond the capacity. An example natin yung octopus wiring, 'di ba? So, overloaded yun usually, 'di ba? So, source of ignition, the origin power which is sufficient to ignite a flammable atmosphere. Yan. An electric arc, an extremely hot luminous bridge form passage of electrical through spaces between two conductor. So, yan yung mga higher na siya, napakainit mo yung electrical arc na siya o yung tatawag na arcs. So, let's have some sort of exercise natin yung ating mga pandinig, ating mga paningin, Tingnan natin. May problema ba to? Siguro, di ba? Another example. Yan, overloaded circuit. Yan, yung mga drawing natin, That is an example of overloaded circuit. Another one. Ito. Tinamad nang ipasok doon sa joint box. Di ba? So, most electrical mishap are caused by combination of three factors. Unsafe yung equipment or installation, workplace made unsafe by the environment, at saka yung isa, unsafe practices. Yan. Non-usage of standard protective devices. Yan. Yan yung mga hazard natin. Yung iba sa inyo dyan, nagbubulag-bulagan. So ito pa, junction box, full box fitting must be covered. Unused opening, cabinet boxes and fitting must be closed. Dapat nating isarado. Ito yung bonus. Yung causes of Art Plus. So, usually, there is an insulation failure. Insulation failure caused by overvoltage, overheating, vibration. Yan. Diyan nagkakaroon ng heart. Environmental factor, dust, so corrosion, and wildlife interaction. Yan. Dust. When there is dust, there could be a possibility of dust explosion. It corrodes, posible, and wildlife interaction. So, dumapo yung agila doon sa linya, 'di ba? Human factor, improper maintenance, at saka procedure not being followed. So sabi ko kanina, we need to abide with what we call hot work. So, the effect of Arc Plus. Burn caused by Arc Plus are similar to high temperature burn. So, napakainit yan, ranges from 2,200 degrees centigrade to 19,400 degrees, which can melt, vaporize, and burn flesh. So pagka ganang this can also ignite clothing or disturbances up to 10 feet. So delikado po yan yung Arc Plus. Those effects may vary depending on the following: source characteristic, current, and its frequency and voltage of energy source. Meron tayong body impedance or body composition of the victims and the path of the body to the current. And then, yung duration, di ba? So, here are some of the picture of an arc plus hazards. Yan. So, familiar kayo doon sa doon sa TV. Yung mga may picture tube na TV. Pagka tiningnan mo yung flyback noon, idikit mo yung screwdriver. Parang ganito yun eh. Yan, yan. Parang nagagano dyan. Ganon din. Di ba? So, yun po yung R plus natin. Then, another is yung overload hazards. Again, paulit-ulit ako. Marami nito. Yan. Ito yung most rampant causes of accident natin. If the wire insulation melt, arc may occur and cause the fire in the area. Yung isa sa overloaded, it's more on resistance. Meron din tayo ng tinatawag na arcing na sinasabi. So, yung arcing nito, yung example, yung arc welding, that is arcing. Ngayon, arc plus, parang ganun. Di ba? Please feel free to send your question and chat through. So mamaya natin sasagutin yung mga tanong. Okay? So, how can we prevent electric shock? So, malapit na akong matapos. Makikita nyo may dalawang linya rito, no? O may dalawang triangle. Meron tayong electrocution, meron tayong prevention. So, paano natin ito ini-interpret? So, alam natin yung triangle may three sides, 'di ba? So, yung side natin pangalanan natin halimbawa ng electricity, path at saka time. Doon sa prevention, again, yung first leg ng ating triangle, electricity, pag nakinig mo yung kuryente, wala ka namang kinalaman o hindi ka naman kaabat-usap, the best thing that you could do is lumayo ka. Ngayon, do sa second leg, pat, hindi ka makakapagtrabaho kung hindi ka gagamit ng kuryente. Ngayon, bilang isang manggagawa, siguraduhin mo na yung equipment mo is properly grounded. Meaning to say, yung equipment mo is connected to the ground. Kasi ayun ngayon, if there is any leak current, ayun yung diretsong dadaanan ng kuryente papunta sa ground. So, computed mo yung resistance mo at saka yung resistance ng ground going to the ground. Definitely, mas mababa yung resistance ng going to the ground na wire comparing to you. Eh sabi natin, current flows to a least resistance. Punta natin yung base ng triangle. Dito time. Di ba? Time yung problema natin dito. Di ba? May mga devices tayo ngayon na ginagamit na if there is a leak current, itong devices na ito yung mag-shutdown or yung mag-turn off. So ito yung mga klase ng earth leakage circuit breaker, ground fault circuit interruption. Ito yung klase ng ELCB. Residual circuit breaker would also do. Okay? May tanong po tayo kasi last slides na ako. Ang sabi rito, safety is safety first. The safe way is the best way. So, do you have any other question? So, kung wala na po, thank you very much. May tanong ba?
Yes po. Engineer Dennis, is it okay to have a let's have a short break po muna before po sa Q&A?
Sige.
Is it okay? Okay, thank you
Okay
so much
lang.
po, Engineer Aquino. So, let's have a short break po bago po sa open forum. Thank you so much po.
Simpleng ehersisyo sa palaupong pamumuhay o sedentary lifestyle. Sabi nga nila, sitting is the new smoking at ang pag-upo ng matagal ay nakakasama sa kalusugan. Sundin ang mga sumusunod. Ehersisyo sa leeg at balikat. Ehersisyo sa kamay. Ehersisyo sa likod at legs. Ugaliing gawin itong mga ehersisyo kada 1 oras ng pagkakaupo. Ehersisyo sa leeg at balikat. Ehersisyo sa kamay. Ehersisyo sa likod at legs. Isang paalala mula sa OSHC. Ergonomics. Ang matagal na pag-upo habang nagtatrabaho at maling posisyon ay nagdudulot ng pananakit ng katawan, pananakit ng mga kamay, at eye strain. Kapag nagtatrabaho sa computer, siguraduhing tama ang height ng upuan at mesa para sa manggagawa, para tama din ang posisyon habang nagtatrabaho. Ang opisina ay dapat may tamang liwanag at ventilation. Ugaliing tumayo kada 1 oras ng pagkakaupo, maglakad-lakad o gumawa ng mga simpleng exercises. Tandaan, para sa kalusugan, tamang gamit at posisyon, tamang liwanag at maaliwalas na paligid, paglalakad at ehersisyo mula sa pagkakaupo. Isang paalala mula sa OSHC. Kaligtasan sa paggamit ng kuryente. Mahalaga ang kuryente sa araw-araw, kaya kailangang maging ligtas sa paggamit nito. Siguruhing maayos ang mga plug at kordon ng mga makina at appliances. Iwasan ang octopus connection. Kung kailangan gumamit ng extension cord, siguruhing hindi nababasa, hindi overloaded, at higit sa lahat, hindi sagabal sa mga dadaanan. Siguruhing pasado sa standards ang mga extension cords. Paglalagay ng tamang outlet imbis na extension cord. Tandaan, maayos na plug at cord. Iwasan ang octopus connection. Tamang paggamit ng extension cords. Pasado sa standards. Tamang outlet. Isang paalala mula sa OSHC.
Okay, so welcome back. We will now proceed to our open forum. We have questions coming from both our Zoom platform and our Facebook page live. So, Engineer Dennis, may we start with the first question po?
Sure.
Okay, so Engineer, we have here our first question from Sir Chris Martinez. What is the standard Philippine voltage for outlets, and how does the PEC mandate the use of grounding and safety devices to prevent electrical hazards?
So may mga standard outlet tayo and voltage. So basically, when we talk of Philippine standard voltage, it's 220. Sometimes it's reached 230. In terms of grounding under the Philippine Electrical Code, may 2 types of grounding tayo. Meron tayo ng tinatawag na system grounding at saka equipment grounding. So when we talk of equipment grounding, you eventually ground yung isang equipment directly going to the ground. When going to talk of system grounding, ito yung kadalasan nagagamit natin sa condominium hotel, di ba? Yung condominium, walang grounding yun. Kaya mapapansin mo, in one part of the condominium hotel, meron doong copper rod wherein you can connect yung equipment as a grounding. So, doon mo siya i-ground yung equipment. So, sa industrial naman, ito ang ginagawa, kinoconnect nila yung mga equipment. Siyempre, meron ding mga specific sizes siya ng wire. And then, doon mo ngayon may connection doon mo ngayon i-connecta yung mga equipment. Kasi, it matters din kasi yung mga soil natin, they all have a different resistance. So, hindi basta-basta yung lalim niyan ay mine-measure din o talos o mine-measure din yung lalim nung ground nung pagkakaano. But maybe pag nag-ano ka sa bahay lang ninyo, Halimbawa, ano ba yung madalas na nakaka-grab? The refrigerator, ano? Yung mga lumang refrigerator, hindi yung mga mga inverter type. Yung mga lumang refrigerator, pag namamaga-ground ka, so you want to remove the ground. So, itali mo in one part of the condenser, kaskasin mo, tanggalin mo ang pintura, lagyan mo ng wire, tapos yung other end of the wire, ilubog mo sa lupa, you will notice mawawala yung ground. Okay?
Okay, so thank you so much po, Engineer. Pangalawang question po, galing kay Sir Marcelino Bendicio Vega. Common problem po ang color coding ng Philippine Electrical Code dahil may mga clients kami na di kaya sundin dahil mas nakakamura sila per box kaysa per meter. Ano kaya ang pwedeng gawin dito, Engineer?
Color coding. So, again, there is no specific color coding na nire-require when we talk of sa bahay, house installation. But in industry, any color will do, di ba? Ang color coding naman, wala namang specify the color coding when we talk of the Philippine Electrical Code. Ngayon, if you want to be a color coding, ano ba yung color coding mo? It can be a white, red, and green. A green is usually used as a ground. Yung red and white is sometimes being used. But in other case, ang ginagawa na lang nung iba, ang kino-color code nila yung mga dulo. 'Di ba? Yung they just use a shrinkable tube or they just use the electrical tape to serve as color coding. Thank you. I hope I answered that question correctly.
Okay. So, pangatlo po, Engineer, galing po kay Sir Eric Sagudo. Bakit po sa Pilipinas ay hindi mandatory ang installation ng grounding sa mga outlet po?
As far as I could know, it is mandatory. 'Di ba? Even here in Metro Manila, you are allowed to use yung tinatawag na yung three-prong, yung tatlong butas na ano. But since may yung mga old houses natin, dalawa lang yung butas, ah dinidiscourage na rin nila yung paggamit noon kasi nga walang provision for grounding. Tayo naman mga tao, pag nakita natin yung outlet, dalawa lang yung butas at tatlo yung probe nung ating ginagawa natin, tinatanggal. Pero dito sa Manila, Meralco now is imposing the mandatory of use of grounding. 'Di ba? Before they place this metro sa mga residential, there is a provision for a grounding or sila mismo o naglalagay sila ng wire going to the ground. Okay?
Okay. So, ayan. Sir, galing din po kay Ma'am Dinda Bara. What is the proper electrical maintenance and its interval po?
Yeah. Again, sabi natin under RA 7920, ang may karapatan na mag-maintain yan is those who are practicing electrical engineering. It can be a master electrician or it can be a registered electrical engineer or it can be professional. In terms of tuwing kailan, I think it is most advisable to done it on an annual basis. 'Di ba? So, kasi if you are not practicing, are not allowed to practice electrical engineering, no, what's the use? Dapat yung electrical, master electrician, lang ang supposed to be na magmi-maintain yan. Kaya nga nasabi ko natin sa ating mga sinasabi, yung konting kalaman is also dangerous. Okay? Next question.
Yes po. Engineer, dito din po kay Sir Chris Grimson. Saan particular ginagamit yung GFCI po?
GFCI is usually used sa mga outlet. Yung mga circuit lang outlet, sometimes yung mga main circuit breaker. Basically, ang term naming mga electrical engineer when we talk of the fuses and circuit breaker, it is what we call protection appliances. Ngayon, nung lumabas yung GFCI, GFCI, dito na protectionan na rin as well yung user. Di ba? So, ang prinsipyo nun, ganito yon, medyo mahaba yung explanation dito. When you try to measure yung dalawang wire, limbawa yung extension cord, may measure mo siya ng ammeter. Pag mineasure mo yon, save, 0. But try to measure it yung individual wire. Meron siyang reading. And you will notice yung reading ng individual wire is geometrically equal with the other wire. Ngayon, ang work nitong GFCI, if there is difference between the two conductor, automatically isa-shut off niya yung circuit. So, meaning to say may likarin ka or hindi balanse yung kuryente na dumadaan doon sa dalawang wire. Okay?
Okay. So, ayan. Engineer, is it okay to make, last three questions galing po
Sige.
kay Sir Aguilar, Tony Aguilar.
Sige.
First question, Mr. Tony, which electrical safety standards apply to our workplace, e.g. OSHA, NFPA 70E? Second, how do we ensure compliance with local electrical codes? And lastly, why documentation must be maintained for audits?
Okay, ganito yan. 3 weeks ago, I talked with the chairman of the Electrical Engineering Board, si Engineer Francis Mapili. Sabi niya sa amin, not only me, with the group, the existing, the PEC1 and the PEC2 doesn't require yung mga maintenance. What he is pointing out is we need to provide another PEC with this name PEC3, di ba? And sabi niya, basically, the most basis na pwede nating pagkuhanan is yung NFPA 70E. So, sabi niya, we will be try to copy some of those said in NFPA 70E and it will become PEC3. Ayun yung plano ng IIEE at saka Board of Electrical Engineering. So actually, yung group namin sa electrical safety are being tasked. Noon, actually meron ng draft noon, medyo ipapine-tune lang siguro yung draft ng NFPA nung PEC3 to be it more user-friendly among Pilipino. Kasi magkaiba yung sitwasyon kasi. Iba yung sa US, iba yung sa Pilipinas. So, ipapine-tune lang sa tingin ko, ipapine-tune lang ang kulang doon for it to be adaptable sa ating mga electrical engineer dito sa Pilipinas. Thank you.
Ayan, so thank you again,
Hindi,
Engineer
meron pa
Dennis.
pala akong isang kulang.
Yes,
Why
go
it
ahead
need
po.
to maintain yung record? Yes, you need to maintain the record or how para magkameron tayo ng basis doon sa susunod na mag-i-inspect.
Ayan. So,
Okay.
ayan. Thank you very much po, Engineer Dennis Aquino, for your meaningful presentation and for openly sharing your expertise with us.
Thank
So,
you very
ayun,
much.
I hope na nasagot po yung mga katanungan po ng ating mga participants dito po sa Zoom. sa Facebook Live page po natin. So all our participants, thank you for your attention, engagement, and commitment to making safety a priority in your work and daily lives. So ayan, thank you po, Engineer. And before we end our webinar, no, kindly accomplish the evaluation form so you can receive your e-certificate. Ayan, pasagot po kami hanggang
Libre ako.
12. Thank you very much, Engineer. Thank you so much. Ayan. Again, kindly accomplish your Zoom yung ating Zoom evaluation so that you can receive your e-certificate. Again, thank you once again for your time and participation. Stay safe, stay aware, and let us continue building a safer workplace culture together. So again, this has been your host, Ms. Glace Rose Galanza. Thank you and good morning, everyone. Okay. Sir Aljan, kindly share ulit po yung ating evaluation. And pasendin po sa links sa evaluation po natin dito sa Zoom and also sa ating Facebook Live page. Thank you so much po. Good morning and keep safe everyone.